Hey there, my name is Marshall Cole, and I'm the Associate Director for Housing and Residence Life here at UNO. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about the RA position and how you can apply for the position for the next academic year. RAs at UNO are both on Dodge and Scott campus housing. On Dodge campus, resident assistants are student staff members who are there to support students and who serve the students that are living in the buildings where the RAs are living and working as well. On Dodge campus, it's a 10-month position with the RA position beginning August 1st and going until the end of May at the end of the academic year. On Scott campus, RA position is the same. They have the same general responsibilities and duties with serving the community, but it is a 12-month contract from May to May each year. When we think about the different things that RAs do, we kind of break that down into three main categories of things. And that is RAs help students connect, they help students engage, and then they offer students support. So when we talk about connection, what we're talking about is RAs getting to know the people that are living in their buildings. So RAs are generally responsible for, getting out there, putting themselves out there and getting to know the residents that are living in their building. So they do that a lot of different ways. They'll do that by talking to folks at programs and events, by serving people at the desk, by doing monthly or ongoing regular outreach to residents in their building so that they get to know people on an individual basis so that they know how they can best serve those people. When we talk about engaging residents, that also happens a lot of different ways. Again, that can happen within housing, at the desks, or in other ways when RAs are interacting with residents. It can also happen with RAs helping residents to connect with one another, right? Facilitating roommate agreements and conversations like that between roommates, or helping connect residents to other residents that live in housing to develop that sense of community here within the housing buildings. It also means that RAs help students engage with the larger UNO campus community, right? There are a lot of clubs and organizations and offices and departments that are here to help people be successful and to make the most of their academic experience at UNO. And RAs are a great resource to help people get engaged and connected within the larger campus community and beyond, right? In the Omaha community. And lastly, when we talk about support, we know that everybody comes to campus with their own experiences and with their own needs and with their own backgrounds that they navigate as they are trying to be successful here on campus and in the classroom. And RAs can help there. RAs are people who are trained and who know about the different resources and supports that do exist on campus. And when residents have issues that they bring up to RAs or that they share with RAs can help get those residents connected to the supportive people and resources here on campus that are going to help them be successful and navigate the things that are in front of them. Our housing community is pretty diverse, right? We have people who are from Omaha. They maybe live a half mile away from campus and they've lived here in Omaha their whole life. We also have people that come to UNO from halfway around the world. And we know that everybody that's in our residence halls has their own unique backgrounds and their own unique identities and the things that they're bringing to our community. And as a department, Housing and Residence Life recognizes that as a strength. That is a value and that is an asset to our community that we have such a diverse student population here. It's important because we recognize that and we value that. It's important that our staff recognizes and values that as well. So when we think about RAs and when we go through the RA selection process, RAs should be people who want to serve a diverse community. They should be people who recognize the importance of the diversity of identities and backgrounds and human dignity that exists in our residence halls and wants to promote and serve that. So as RAs, looking to really value the people in the community and meet them where they're at so that we can help people be successful. Like I said, whether they're from half a mile away or halfway around the world, the goal of being here at UNO is to be successful. And so our RAs are going to do that. The day-to-day tasks of resident assistants can look different, but we kind of break them into two categories. We talk about the relationship-oriented tasks and the relationship-oriented things that come with the RA position. And then we talk about the administrative side, right? There are administrative tasky responsibilities that need to be completed as well. With the relationship side of things, each RA is typically responsible for a building of about 45 to 50 residents. There are some differences there in building size or floor size between Dodge campus and Scott campus housing. But typically it's in that 45 to 50 resident range that an RA would be responsible for. Within the relationship-oriented pieces of the job, again, we go back to that connection. So just knowing who your residents are, we want RAs to connect with their residents on an ongoing basis, typically monthly or more, just to check in, see how things are going, get to know the residents and be able to offer supports as needed. So we want RAs to be building those relationships and investing in the relationships that they have with their residents and with the housing community. We do this so that RAs can help connect people to the supports that exist on campus, to help facilitate some of those relationship dynamics that can be tricky between roommates and things like that. It starts with RAs just getting to know their residents. And then the administrative side of the thing, or of the RA position, I'm sorry. The administrative side really relates to all of the tasky things that come along with overseeing a residential community. So RAs are programmers. They put on regular events and engagement opportunities for their residents within housing. They also are responsible for updating bulletin boards and sharing information with their residents in different ways so that residents have the most up-to-date information on what's going on in housing in the UNO campus so that they can engage more fully during their experience here. RAs are also responsible for knowing all of our emergency procedures and how to handle anything that comes up at any hour of the day. RAs work at the desk here in housing to be able to handle student inquiries during the day, help with keys, packages, things like that. But also then RAs would be on call when the desk is closed, which means carrying a cell phone and answering phone calls from residents when needs arise during those after hours, whether that would be, I'm locked out of my apartment or there's a policy violation that needs to be addressed or whatever it may be. RAs handle those on-call after-hours responsibilities as well, with support from professional staff and other campus resources, of course. RAs are not handling all of those things on their own, but oftentimes they're the first person to get the call and need to be able to help make sure that our policies and procedures are being followed. As far as the qualifications to be an RA here on campus, there are some differences between Dodge and Scott campus, but typically they're the same. So I'll talk through those here. We want RAs to have gone through at least 1 year at university, whether at UNO or somewhere else. So folks need to have at least 24 credit hours completed at a college or university before they can be an RA. We also want folks who are able to handle the balance between being an RA and a person and a student, because you're a student first and your student success comes first. And so we want RAs who have a cumulative GPA of 2.0 on Dodge campus and a cumulative GPA of 2.75 on Scott campus. You also need to be in good academic standing with the university. RAs need to be full-time students throughout the duration of the time in the position. Full-time is 12 credit hours per semester in the fall and the spring. And then also RAs need to be available to work the entire contract period. So on Dodge campus, you need to be available from August 1st until May 31st. And then on Scott campus from May to May when the full contract with the position occurs. And lastly, then, candidates also need to be in good judicial standing with the university, meaning that there aren't any behavioral concerns or conduct concerns. I will say, if you have questions about that, if you've been through the conduct process at some point as a student, that doesn't necessarily disqualify you from being an RA. So if you have questions about that, you can always reach out to the Office of Conduct and Community Standards or to housing directly to ask about your current or your individual situation. And we'll be happy to talk to you about that. Some specific information for Scott campus. Staff meetings on Scott campus take place weekly on Sunday nights, usually 8 or 9 p.m. All RAs are typically expected to be at those staff meetings. And so if you want to be an RA on Scott campus, you need to be aware of that going into it. RAs will be on duty and they'll work the desk while they're on duty during the day and night between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. And then RAs on Scott campus typically have 1 duty night each week and then approximately 7 weekends of duty responsibilities throughout the academic year, with 8 holiday and break duty days that they would be responsible for as well. On Scott campus, you meet regularly with your direct supervisor to make sure that you have the support that you need in order to be successful in the position. And then on Scott campus, because it's a May to May contract, RAs also have scheduled summer hours that they would be responsible for completing. RAs on Scott campus are compensated with free housing, and on Scott campus that includes utilities and internet. In Scott Crossing and Scott Hall, RAs have a studio apartment that they're provided with, and then RAs in Scott Court and Scott Village are provided with 1 bedroom within a 4-bedroom apartment. Scott campus RAs also receive a free unlimited meal plan at the dining center there, and then have the option to pick up additional paid desk shifts. So the compensation on Scott campus includes all of those things. On Dodge campus, there's some specific information to be aware of as well. Staff meetings for Dodge campus RAs typically occur on Monday nights, usually 8 or 9 p.m. at night when everybody's out of class. And then RAs also work the desk during the day. So our desks here on Dodge campus are open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then Saturdays from noon to 4. And RAs would be responsible for working those desk hours with regularly scheduled and recurring desk hours. So it's always the same each week. RAs on Dodge campus are on duty approximately 1 night per week and 1 weekend per month, with some holiday and break duty responsibilities as well. RAs on Dodge campus also have regular ongoing meetings with their direct supervisor to get the support that they need. RAs on Dodge campus need to be available beginning August 1 to do training before the academic year starts. So that first couple weeks of August, RAs need to be fully available to learn everything that they need to know about the RA position before residents move in. And then on Dodge campus, we do have the expectation that during at least the first semester in the RA position, RAs don't have outside employment. And that is really for the sake and for the benefit of you as an RA. It can be hard to be a person and a student and an RA at any of those things individually at once, right? Let alone all three at the same time. And so what we have found is that when RAs try to introduce an outside job, that adds a fourth thing that can really throw off and complicate that time management and balance piece. And so we expect RAs not to have outside employment for the first semester while they figure out that balance piece in the position. Compensation for RAs on Dodge campus includes free housing, which includes all utilities, laundry, and internet. And that is a 1 bedroom within a 4-bedroom apartment in either University Village or Maverick Village. And then RAs on Dodge campus also receive a $450 per month stipend. So along with the free housing, there's a monetary stipend that RAs receive as well each month. The timeline for applying for the 24-25 academic year really starts now. The application is open and can be completed up to February 2nd. There are 2 processes. So there's an application for Dodge campus and an application for Scott campus, and then an interview process for Dodge campus and an interview process for Scott campus. So I'll talk through each of those separately. On Dodge campus, again, if you're interested in being an RA for that Dodge campus housing, you need to complete your application by February 2nd. And you would apply through Handshake on the UNO website. Following that, we will schedule first-round interviews with all qualifying applicants, and those first-round interviews will happen via Zoom on the week of February 5th through the 9th. So that'll be a half hour where we will meet with you on Zoom and kind of talk through some initial interview questions there. Folks who successfully complete that first round will be passed on to a second round of interviews, which is another 30-minute individual interview during the week of February 19th through the 23rd. Those will be happening in person. So we'll have a Zoom interview and then an in-person interview for qualified candidates to really kind of flesh out everything about you and your candidacy for the position and see if it would be a good fit for you. And then offers after that will be made the week of March 5th. So we'll make offers that week and folks can either accept or decline offers at that point. Scott campus, the timeline is similar. Applications are open through the 2nd of February, so you need to apply by then. Following that, if you are qualified to be a participant in the process, Scott campus conducts a group process interview. Those will be occurring on Friday, February 9th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. and then Saturday, February 10th from 10 a.m. to noon. That is a group process interview where you're kind of interviewing with other people. And it's an opportunity to see, how folks engage and interact in group settings and the team dynamic there. Following that, folks that successfully complete the group process interview will be invited for an individual interview sometime mid to late February, where you'll have an individual interview with the Scott Campus Housing team to learn more about your candidacy for the RA position. And then same as Dodge Campus, offers will be made March 5th, that week of March 5th, 2024. It's important to note that you should apply for the campus that you are interested in working on. So if you are only interested in Dodge Campus, you need to apply through Handshake for the Dodge Campus RA position and complete the Dodge Campus RA interview process. If you're interested in only Scott Campus, you should apply by going to scottcampus.com/RA-app. And complete the application there, and then you would complete the Scott Campus interview process. If you're interested in being an RA on either Dodge Campus or Scott Campus, you would need to complete both applications separately and then complete both interview processes separately as well. So note that if you're interested in either, you should complete both and sign up for interviews on both campuses. I know that there's probably a ton of questions and things that we haven't addressed here or I haven't talked about that you may want to ask about or you may want to know more about. If you're interested in talking more or talking directly to myself or someone else about the RA position, I would encourage you to reach out with whatever questions that you have. Any Dodge Campus RA related questions can be directed to me directly. My email is mkole@unomaha.edu. And any questions that you may have about the Scott Campus RA position can be directed to Deanna Diamond on Scott Campus. And her email is ddymond@scottcampus.com. Don't hesitate to reach out. There are no bad questions. I want you to have all the information before you consider applying for the position. That's the information I have for you. Like I said, I'm sure that there are questions you have. Please reach out if you have them. I will say that the RA position is one that is, in my mind, one of the most critical student staff positions that exists here on campus. And it is a great opportunity for folks to learn about themselves, to learn about others, and to develop really critical leadership and communication skills that will serve you not only in the position itself, but well beyond as you get into your professional careers outside of UNO. So I hope you apply. I hope that you're interested. Reach out if you have questions. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen today.